this is a little poem based on my experience with a Delta Group company called Ingal. On the 30th of March 2010, Ingal demanded I tie or strap plastic plates to my safety boots. This is a boiler-making fabrication workshop. You know, welding, plasma cutting, oxy cutting, heat, sparks. Tie plastic plates to my safety boots. Definitely not my idea of safety, mate. So I put in a hazard report. I was finished up that very afternoon. Now, being not only a welder, but also a songwriter and a bush poet, I thought I'd write a little bit of bush poetry based on the experience. So this here's a little poem I've titled Delta Group Boots. A little piece of bush poetry. Delta Group Boots. Or simply, boots. The Delta Group is pushing safety out there at Acacia Ridge, someplace that they call Ingal. Yeah, they claim they're a jig-edge, because Delta demands its safety first, or it just doesn't go. But now, Ingal's been like cutting a few corners. And does Delta even know? They've got boilermakers and welders working in their bays. They demand those blokes wear high-vis. This lot they do amaze. They demand they also wear hard hats, though it's no construction or trucky sight. But here's one sort of strange little luck. Maybe they're not that very bright. They bought in a new super type of safety boot for all their factory staff. Steel cap-toed with an inbuilt safety shield to protect the other half. But for the labour hire blokes, they're supplied with a cheap little plastic plate that they've got to somehow tie or strap to the top side of their boot. Don't sound at all that great. Tie something to your shoes or boots? Yeah, right. Turn it up, like as if that's really smart. Tie something to my boots? In my opinion, dangerous, if not outright ludicrous. A personalised little tripping hazard. Nah, no way. I'll give that lark a miss. You know, maybe the company might like to apply a little bit more thought. I'd try to do the right thing, you know, and put in a hazard report. So I put in a hazard report. The reaction was rather dismal. The air hung thick with something akin to my certain somewhat imminent dismissal. So maybe I'll send this poem to Delta. The heads of the Delta Group ought to know. They might just sort of like kind of wake up and give the brain a go. Now, some folks might think these plastic strips to be a true sensation, but I don't believe them to be all that flash in this here application. You know, I've always hated bully boys, be it a man or a corporate company. And Ingal here has most certainly crossed the line. A major effort in hypocrisy. They say they're all for safety. Have a go. It's cheap and stupidity run amok. I suppose if someone gets badly hurt, they'll claim it was bad luck. Of course, it'll be the labour hire boilermaker or welder's fault for failing to secure this plastic plate contraption is being forced now to endure. You know, some companies try this type of thing out on labour hire blokes. Yeah, might treat them like they're second rate. But Delta's policy is safety first. Or is that now out of date? Well, Ingal said they could send us home, implying like a bloke mustn't like working there. The threat of instant termination of employment fouled the morning air. But still, you don't need rocket science to see they're putting the blokes at risk. Have no doubt with tripping hazards it can be like hit and miss. Add in Murphy's Law and all too quickly things start looking grim. The Delta Group's view towards safety starts looking rather thin. In this case, their stance on safety only goes so far. There seems to be some raw, outright contemptible bigotry. depending like who you are, and whether or not you're on their books, although you're still working for them on their site. Since when did we tie things to our shoes or boots? Something here just don't sound right. All in all, it seems to me a cheap and nasty little act. You know, I've truly tried to keep this poem polite and apply a bit of tact. The result of my hazard report, I suppose I'll never know. All too soon it was to be so blatantly exposed. How low that lot could go. I was finished up that very day. I was employed casual labour hire, you see. For in Galle it was only just all too easy to see the last of me. And of course this piece of poetry I most definitely now have sent to the heads of the Delta Group. Look me up on the internet.